Here we are with part 2 of breaking canon in films. We just discussed about the 007.
Alright, now let's talk about the elephant in the room.
The what in the room?
The ultimate failure of the 2016 reboot of Ghostbusters. The all-female cast.
Oh God.
Problem number 1. They should have made it a sequel, and it should have been the kids of the original cast.
That could have worked.
It would have worked. They would have been able to tell their jokes. They would have been able to do their thing. And it would have been accepted by the fandom as a continuation of a generational story that the Ghostbusters come back out, but it's a new crew who don't know what they're doing, just like their moms and dads didn't know what they were doing, which made Ghostbusters so endearing. And it would have worked. Instead, all the SJW, oh, but women need to be empowered in films. Women have been empowered in films for the last 60 fucking years. If you look at the right films, for the right occasions, women have been empowered in films for 60 years.
Whoa.
A good case in point, Psycho. The victim who got killed by the murderer was an adulteress on the lam because she was a thief. She was not a hero. She was a villainess. But she was sweet to look at, and she was very, very velvety on the tongue, because that's what tactics she used. And in the cycle, the aspect that was the mother saw through her. That's why she was murdered. It was a social commentary on the changing of American values at the time. Another case in point, the day the earth stood still in the late 50s. The woman who talks to the alien is the one person who gets through to the alien that the humans are not monolithic, that the humans do not, I repeat, do not work together as a group, and that we're not ready for interaction with a greater alien civilization.
The great SJW done it again with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Wow. So what happens, do you think, if they'll do like a remake of the Blues Brothers, but with a black woman and an Asian woman?
Could work. If they
Wow.
call them the sisters.
The Blues Sisters?
Yep. Because after all, the Blues Brothers were chosen by God for their mission.
Another thing that I have a problem with in all of reboots and remakes, a real one that really bothered the hell out of me was the remake of Rollerball. Women rollerballers and of color.
Women,
I say, hey guys, I read Rollerball Murders, the book. I read the story. The original film had nothing to do with female rollerballers. When they remade the film, what happened? It failed. It bombed at the office.
It's a case of not knowing their source material. Rollerball, the movie from the 70s, is a social commentary on corporate America or the corporate world as a whole controlling the lives of everybody. Women are possessions to be taken from each other as you do the rat race, climb to the top. The ultimate extension of what the SJW is called the toxic glass ceiling. People are property. Male, female, doesn't matter. They're all property unless you have the money. The hero, he was just another piece of property, but he was good. He was very good at what he did, and he thought it gave him power. And that last game was to show him that no, his masters have all the power. And they destroyed his team around him.
But unfortunately, with the remake, SJW got in the way and basically ruined it. Another prime example, the remake of Flight of the Phoenix. It was an all-guy film. All guys. Nothing but guys in the original film. James Stewart, you know, everybody was in it. Then the remake, they put women in it.
Simply be the love interest.
To be a love interest in the desert. The guys that was in the plane in the original film were just a bunch of workers and a bunch of other whatnots and know-nothings. Well, guess what happened? They fucked that all up too by putting women in it and construing the goddamn script.
That's a case of...
And the movie bombed. It bombed.
Yeah, it's a case of, again, not knowing your source material, and number two, hoping to bring date night audiences.
Another thing that bothers me that went against canon. We're not even going to get into the fucking Marvel films yet. But we will get into Riverdale. Riverdale TV series. Josie and the Pussycats. Josie was not a black girl. She was white. And her character goes all the way back into the early 60s. So then, in the TV series, they made the two Pussycats white. Instead of having Josie, who was white, and then the other two chicks were white and black, they fucked that all up too. Some people don't even buy it. Another great example of SJW was the Avengers and the Thor movies. Heimdall, a black guy guarding the Bifrost bridge to Asgard. There's no such thing as a black man in Norse mythology, guys. They didn't exist. I read everything fucking possible about it, and not once they mentioned a black god inside the Norse mythology. But yet, because of social justice warrior bullshit, they decided to put a black guy in there. I was like, really? Really serious? Oh my God. And then, of course, comes all the Marvel stuff. It just, you know, I even heard about Iceman being gay. I mean, what are we going to do next? Are we going to take the Wizard of Oz and make a Chinese Dorothy Gale with a Russian-sounding Tin Man? Are we going to do that? How about a remake of TV's Roots with all white people being slaves and the slave masters are from Pakistan? How about that? They're just, to me, there is just certain things you do not play with.
Well, they don't understand that they want to make gender changes, they want to make color changes simply for the sake of doing it instead of making it part of a story, therefore insulting the source material and the history of our collective past. Don't like the fact that the Civil War was started by the Democrats.
Oh, here we go on this tangent, this sin rage.
Right?
Here we go.
Don't like the fact that corporate America provides all the jobs and have been for the last 150 years. That's history. You got to learn from it.
Well,
if you don't want to repeat 1932 soon, you got to learn from it.
Well, we're basically, I'm trying to keep us focused on things of canon, films, books.
Yeah, canons and things, but people want to make changes simply because they want to be virtual signaling for the sake of virtual signaling instead of making positive change, real change.
It's just
change without the risk. That's what they're doing.
So what's going to be next? What's going to be next? I mean, oh, another thing that bothers me before I turn this thing off. If you guys seen Godzilla, well, I'm sure some of the audience out there might see it. I had no problem with the black bald-headed chick as a general. Had no problem with it. There's no problems with having it black. She had to be black. You just couldn't have just a female general. You had to have a black bald-headed female general. Can I ask why they made her into a war hero with Ranger tabs, Special Forces tabs, and CIBs when all those courses go to men?
No, my problem with her was
that was my biggest issue.
She was super pilot and infantry. Pick a MOS, please. Okay, she can't do it all. Not everybody can do it all. Have her be in command, giving the directions, but have other people be flying the giant super plane.
It's just unbelievable. I just like, really? Somebody, I'm sure somebody will say alternate universe world. If you're gonna do that, then fucking change everything, including the fucking uniforms. And if you're gonna do it, fucking do it.
Yeah, make it a unique force all its own.
Yo, dude, get off my ass. There's a guy behind us being a dickhead.
Being impatient to get to the bank.
Fucking asswipe. So there we go. There's my ranting and raving about breaking canon in books and films. Huh?